What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? Make sure we're working right here. We got a microphone on so you can hear us. This is T representing Benny's Beads and Candles, and we also representing staying fit after 50, or in my case, it's after 55-ish. As we talked about before, when you get in those 50s, that metabolism starts to decrease. It starts to get a little harder to keep going. So we in this gym on a regular basis, at least 4 to 5 times a week, trying to keep it going. And we want to stay fit and healthy as long as we can. So we down here at the downtown YMCA. Anybody want to come join us one day and just work out? We work out in the evenings, mornings, whenever you want to get together, we can do that. But the thing I want to talk about right now that's really near and dear to my heart is suicide. Suicide prevention, especially for African Americans, especially for African American men. We are at a rate that's a little scary, just by my own assessment. When I've been seeing news stories lately of suicides, there's been quite a few that's been men, and it's been African American men. So from my perspective, what I've learned and what I believe happens is that men are taught to internalize the pain. We're not supposed to let that pain out. Whatever we're going through, we got to keep that struggle in. And at some point we break. And that's what happens to us. And we've got to learn as men, we need to actually be able to express that. We need to be able to just break down crying if we want to sometimes as well. And for me, one of the groups I've worked with on a couple of occasions is the AFSP, the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. And their goal is to deal with people that are in crisis. They've got an 800 number that you can call 24 hours a day. And I work with them in attempts to lobby congressmen to pass certain bills that can benefit those with suicidal thoughts. I've gone on a couple of walks with them. So I'm a very fond supporter of that group. So just check it out. Type in AFSP or American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. But reason why I got so interested and it's so near and dear to my heart because I struggled with mental depression a lot over the years. And it actually got so bad about 10 years or so ago to where I actually made the decision that I was going to kill myself. And it got to the point I said I would make one more outreach to somebody just to say, hey, you are appreciated. We want you here. Don't do it. So I reached out to someone that was very dear to me, that I really always admired their thoughts on what they had to say. And I told this person, I said, this is what I'm thinking about. They looked at me like I was crazy. They said, why would you do that? That's stupid. That doesn't make any sense. If you want to kill yourself, kill yourself. So at that point, I was convinced. I said, all right, I'm convinced. Nobody cares if I'm here or not. I was committed at that point to commit suicide. So that night, I sat on my living room floor, drinking all night long, with a sharp knife in my hand, running it across my wrist, breaking the skin a little bit, just trying to find that little extra courage to cut deep and bleed to death. And that would be the end of it. But one of the things that kept me from just going that route that whole night was I didn't want my children to have to wake up and come out there that next morning to see their father bleeding out on the floor or has bled out on the floor dead. So I didn't do it, but yet I was still committed. I just said, I need to go do this somewhere else. So finally, 6 o'clock in the morning came, and the pastor of my church called. And previously during the week, he had been calling me about a men's boat trip, asking me if I wanted to go on a men's boat trip. I kept saying, nah, I'm good, because I kind of had an idea what I was planning on already, where my mind was. So I said, I didn't even think I would be around to do this boat trip. But he called me at 6 o'clock in the morning. Something said, go ahead and go. I got up and went on that trip. And there were a few guys. Our church ministry is a small ministry, but we take all types of people. We've got guys that have been in prison that are trying to find their way in life again. And some of the guys that were there, they had just been out of prison, going through things. It's hard for them to find work and establish themselves in the world like normal people because they've got this past. And those guys had so much fun. You would never know by looking at them that they spent the last few years of their life being locked up, going through hard times. These guys had a great time. I had a great time. It's the most fun I've had with a bunch of men that didn't involve drinking or hanging out with women. And at that point, I realized, man, whatever I think I got going on, it's not as bad as what these guys are facing, because when they leave this boat, they're going to have to go back to the real world and deal with things. Me, I had a decent job, house, two healthy kids, and a wife. And I said, what do I have to be upset about? But what I realized, what put me in this mood was the fact that I have certain beliefs, certain religious beliefs. And what I realized, my beliefs tend to come in conflict with my immediate family's beliefs. And there was always a butting of heads. And for me, I felt like that I was being a burden on my family because the things that I believed in, they didn't believe in. And there was always arguments and disagreements. And it was depressing. And at that same time, I was struggling to make ends meet. And so I finally said, maybe they'll be happy without me. Because what I've been told by some people, people that want to commit suicide are selfish. Why would you want to hurt people that you love? But what I put out to you guys is that some people don't realize that it's not always about them being selfish. Yes, there are some people that may do it for the attention. Some people may do it because they want somebody just to say, hey, yes, we do care about you. And some people may do it just to get attention. But some people do it not because they want attention, but because they honestly believe they are not loved and that their families' lives would be better without them. But for me, that's how I felt. But I wasn't man enough to just get in my car and leave my family, which I see a lot of people do. Sometimes they just get up and go. If I did that and left my family, that would bother me even more. So I felt my only way out was to just end it all. They'll be happy that I'm not here giving my crazy spiritual beliefs, and I'll be rid of all the burdens that I've been dealing with. And so some people do it not because they're trying to get attention. They honestly believe they don't have a value to the people in their lives, and they feel that their lives would be better without them. So I say to you guys, be careful who you talk to about these thoughts. You can't talk to everybody. If you're at that point where you're ready to commit, talk to somebody, but find out kind of where their mindset is on that. You can't tell everybody you want to do that because they don't understand. And I know that some of these same people that I talk to that don't understand, I watch them committing suicide on a daily basis. What I mean by that, they're constantly drinking themselves to death. They're doing drugs. So they're slowly killing themselves. They're just not doing it quickly like some people do. They're slowly killing themselves. So they're still committing suicide. They're just taking the long route. So I say all that to say, men especially, African American men, black men, brothers, whatever y'all call yourselves, make sure you talk to somebody if you feel like you cannot go another day. If you feel like you are about to lose it, don't go act a fool on anybody else. Don't go act a fool on yourself. Go talk to somebody. Call the AFSP, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, or anybody that can help you. Talk to them. Sometimes talking does help. And just talk to somebody that you know that you can trust that will let you know that you are important. So again, this is T representing Benny's Beads and staying fit after 50. So we at the gym, and one thing I found that has helped my mental state is coming to the gym and trying to keep it together. Because when you get after 50, after 55, ooh, the body be hurting. That's why I got these on right now, because the joints are hurting. The knees are, woo, man. So it's good to get in that gym, keep it going, keep the body strong. And till next time, check us out at bennysbeads.com. That's BENNIES, BEADS.com, BENNIES, BEADS.com, or on Facebook and Instagram at Benny's Beads. Until next time, and remember, if you need help, call somebody today, right now. Don't wait.